Burnout happens. It's a real thing, especially if you don't have your why, or if your why isn't strong enough, if it doesn't align with, the strategy that you're implementing. Welcome back to the For Creators by Lily podcast, the space where we build, grow, and spill all of the truth in the creator world. So let's cut through the noise and get into the real stuff. If you're a creator or just creator curious, then you're in the right place. This is no fluff, just real strategy. And I'm your host, Lily, an Afro-Latina strategy girly, beauty content creator, and your go-to creative big sis. Because after 6 years, 600 plus brand deals, and a whole lot of trial and error, I have built my brand from scratch and secured campaigns with top tier companies, and I learned exactly what works and what's just nonsense. So this space is for the newbies, the seasoned creators, and everyone in between, because we talk about systems, trends, rates, burnout, and passion, because let me tell you, being a content creator is in fact a whole job. And it's time that we start treating it like one. You're gonna get the tools, the strategy, and the unfiltered advice you actually need to move up in the industry with purpose. So grab your tea, open that Notes or Notion app, and let's get into it. Today, we are gonna tap into your potential and build something you're proud of. If you clicked on this episode, I already know that you're not just here for the quick hacks or the how to go viral in 3 steps type of videos. No. You're someone who is building with intention, but you're also just trying to make sense of all of the noise that's out there. And for that, I'm so proud of you. And I'm so excited for you to hear what I've got to say. In today's episode, we're going to be touching on how to cut through the noise in the creator space because, oh my gosh, it is so just loud. That's the best word that I could use to describe it right now. It is so loud on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. I mean, come on, we even got to LinkedIn, guys. It's crazy. And I love to see it. But the thing that I find most creators struggling with, and my peers, and even myself, how do you know what's real, what's truthful, what is going to work for you? In this episode, we're just going to talk about how to cut through all of the noise in the social space because it's a lot of noise. There is so much loudness in the spaces. And I think that we need to figure out, I think that you need to figure out how to cut through that to be able to grow, scale, get the virality, get the visibility that you're looking for. So listen, everybody has advice. I know that because I have advice. I literally started a podcast for creators. So I get it. It's ironic, but I'm going to be so honest and real with you. The aesthetics, the algorithm, the niche, storytelling, batching, posting every day. Like it is so much to even think about. Like, what do you actually do? Because I know that you can't really do all of those things. And if you are, you're not doing them to the best of your ability. You're literally doing them. Okay, you're putting 20% here and 5% here and 10% here. And you can never master anything if you're just giving the bare minimum of what you have to give. So getting back on track, it's a blessing and it's a burden. Because listen, more information does not mean more clarity. If anything, it means literally the opposite. I feel like for me, sometimes it's definitely paralyzing. We are consuming more than we're creating, and that's just not the way that it was supposed to be. I have to be so real. I've definitely gone down, the rabbit hole of advice on Threads. Oh my gosh, there's so much information on Threads, you guys. TikTok and Reddit groups in one sitting, and then literally I've tried and drafted so many things, and I don't end up posting anything, and I just sit on the couch for 3 hours scrolling and just trying to take in as much information. And it's like, okay, in those 3 hours, what could I have actually done to and I don't want to say be better, do better, but what could I have done that was actually, productive, that would have actually resulted in, I don't know, maybe a post or maybe a finished draft ready to post rather than just 20 screenshots and some scrambled notes in my notes app. Come on. And I know I'm not the only one. And that's why I'm being so open and honest about it. So that's why I want you to start creating more than you're consuming. I think that's going to be the first thing. Even if you don't post everything that you create, I think that getting in that creative space, being in your roundhouse, what is it? Warehouse? Roundabout? Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Being in your zone and having that creativity just flowing out of your fingertips is so much better than just the, 3-hour doom scroll trying to figure it out. No, I want you to just jump right in, just dive right in, try to just do what you want to do and to figure it out. And I know that kind of seems like BS advice, but honestly, it's the best thing that's helped me. Today, I really did not want to film. I was like, I'm not doing this. I don't want to film. I'm not in the mood to talk. I don't want to talk. And then I was like, you know what? I could sit here and watch a few more episodes of my anime, or I could just go film a few videos really quickly and I could just sit in front of the camera and see what happens. And you know what? If it's not great, if I don't even end up posting this, that's okay because at least I'm using my creativity, I'm using my skills, I'm, making my brain work a little bit more. And then I will edit this and then I'll go watch my anime. And it's a win-win, I feel productive, but I also then give myself that, satisfaction, guilty pleasure, reward, whatever it is you want to call it. Getting back on track because listen, I am a yapper. I'm a rambler. I will talk your ear off and I talk quite fast sometimes. So who do you actually want to listen to in these social spaces? Well, me, duh. No, I'm just kidding. Who do you actually listen to? Besides just listening to me, you want to listen to real people who are going to empower you, and they don't gatekeep. So let's think like, I don't know, the Mel Robbins, the Emma G's, I'm blanking on her last name, the Jay Shettys, the Latasha, I'm blanking on her last name, Freelance Friday, the Tessa Bradleys, Busy Blooming, the Alyssa from Inspire Media Co. Like, those are the thought leaders that are going to empower you, and they really don't gatekeep. Something to be careful for is red flag coaches, creators, with that fear-based marketing. Oh, you've got to do this now, or you'll never get in, or it'll never be the time, blah, 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 blah. Like, they make you do something out of fear. You never, ever want to live your life and have actions through fear. You don't want to do that. That's not coming from a place of sustainability, honestly. Another red flag is like that one size fits all. Oh, here is my, 30-day content plan that will guaranteed make you go viral, and they've sold 600 of them. Like, no, that's just not it for me. It's feeling very icky. I don't like that. Another thing, selling urgency over depth. So, oh, act fast. There's only 20 minutes left in my cohort, or you'll never get this information again. Blah, blah, blah. No, we're not doing that anymore. We're just not doing that. Those are some red flags that I would look out for, especially when you're trying to figure out who do you actually listen to in this space. But going off of red flags, green flags, creators who do what they teach, who admit when things flop, when they leave room for flexibility. So like a Justin Moore, Creator Wizard, Alyssa, Inspire Media Co., Tessa, Busy Blooming, like those creators will tell you, listen, I did this, I launched something, it didn't work, it didn't succeed, but I'm going to take what I learned and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try again. And you know what? That is so refreshing. Honesty is just so far and few in between. And it's so hard because, social media is just a highlights reel. At the end of the day, I always have to remind myself that social media is literally just a highlights reel. And you know what? Honestly, I fall into it too. My social media is just a highlights reel because I am just not comfortable sharing so many, personal aspects of my life. I'm not comfortable with that. So you're only going to see what I want you to see. And that's okay. But you also need to remember that when you're comparing yourself to another creator who got an opportunity, like you don't know what the blood, sweat, and tears that went into that. You don't know what the actuality of that is. Hey, they could have literally paid to get everything done themselves and they're posting it as a paid partnership or gifted. Like, you just don't know. So at the end of the day, what is it? Comparison is the thief of joy. Stop comparing. Don't do that. Think about, who feels genuine, authentic. Who are your thought leaders? Watch out for your red flags and run towards your green flags. Those are the people that you really want to listen to. And bringing it back home, this is kind of like my tip that I have learned over these last 6 years in content creation. And that is kind of like, you need to determine who your audience is and what you're doing this for. So you need to filter everything through your why and your who. So your why. What pulled you into doing this? Is it passion, creativity, freedom, impact you want to have? Like, why are you doing this? What is the why? And if the strategy doesn't align with your why, it will burn you out. Trust me, I know. 2022 was the best and worst year of my life. I entered so many new things. I had so many amazing opportunities. It was phenomenal. I was making so much money. But I was so burned out that by the end of the year, I literally was so burnt out. All of 2023, I was burnt out. I was barely posting. I stopped posting on TikTok. I did not post except for like brand deals that I had already signed contracts with. I did not post a singular video at all from like September to like that January. And again, same thing this year. I kind of fell back into like this weird, icky burnout zone. And I know what it was. It was, school. And then I moved at the same time. And then my cat had problems. There was family issues. Like, there was just like, bam, life was literally just kicking me in the gut. I was having health issues. So like, I have posted on TikTok maybe 20 times all of 2025. Maybe. I know it's not great. I'm not proud of it, but I'm being honest. I'm being transparent. Burnout happens. It's a real thing, especially if you don't have your why. Or if your why isn't strong enough, if it doesn't align with, the strategy that you're implementing. You need to also know who your who is. You need to know your who. So who are you creating for? I feel like an owl. Who? Who are you creating for? And you need to be specific. The more specific you are, the better your content is going to reach and hit. So are you trying to create content for a burnt out college student or a mom trying to love her skin postpartum, or I don't know, a Black creator, trying to navigate, the beauty industry and going to Sephora and trying to find shades that work for, there's so much. You need to get as niche as possible. You know what? No, I hate saying niche. You need to get as specific. That's the better word. You need to get as specific as possible in deciding, okay, this piece of content is going to reach who? Who do you want this to reach? And it does not need to be the same who for every single video. It just doesn't. But you need to understand the who before you film, before you do anything. And I think that brings so much clarity. So I'll tell you my who and my why. I'm doing this because I'm trying to prevent creators from spending so much time crying, tears, anger, depression, the whole thing, and getting taken advantage of. I'm trying to prevent that because I know what this industry is. I've seen the back burners of it and I've worked in it, on the brand side and on the creator side. And I'm trying to avoid that for anybody who's willing to listen to me. I'm trying to avoid that for you. I don't want you to go through what I went through because it's not fair and it's a learning curve. And I know that. But if I can prevent you from going through the chaos and the ridiculousness that I went through, I'm going to. So that is my why. That is my overarching why. Now, my who for this specific episode, my who is a creator who doesn't know what they're doing, who's struggling, who wants to create content, doesn't know where to start, a creator who is, been doing this for 3 years and they haven't seen the success that they want to see and they're trying to pivot and figure out what to do. That is my who right now. So getting back to the point, know your who, serve them, and let them guide your strategy. And that is how you will decide what content to film and, what to post and when to post. And that is how you will do that. And sometimes, listen, I catch myself posting just because it looks good. Because it looks good. And that is something that I am really trying to get out of because it's just not in alignment with me anymore. It doesn't speak to my people that I'm trying to find, that I'm trying to connect with. It just speaks to creators watching me and not my actual audience. And I said what I said. And honestly, my why has totally evolved from when I first started this 6 years ago to where I am now. Back then, my why was financials. I wanted to make money. I wanted to support my lifestyle. I wanted to do everything that I saw and I wanted to buy everything that I wanted. Overconsumption at its core. It's why I have over 30 pairs of shoes right now and why I have 50 dresses and a ridiculous amount of leggings. But it's okay, that was back then. How old was I? 15, 16. Okay, that was years ago. Now I'm 20. I'm growing and I'm maturing and I'm evolving and that's okay. And I'm accepting that. And I'm not, regretting that because I don't want to regret things in my life. Especially things that at that time, at that moment, brought me so much joy and happiness. And yes, that might seem shallow, okay? A good bag whenever I was feeling sad. Listen, that was me all day. I was constantly going shopping. That was just how I am. And you know what? Partly I was raised that way. Anyways, we're not going to psychoanalyze this, but I totally get it. And my why has evolved. And it's okay for your why to evolve as well. Honestly, it should. It totally should. I think another thing too, to help you figure out how to cut through all of this noise in the social space is to fact check before you implement this strategy. Not all information applies to you, okay? If you have a tech bro telling you that you need to do this and that and, and you're a beauty creator, it's 6 out of 10 times, it's not going to apply. You just don't need it. And that's okay. That's okay. Some people are full-time. Some people have only 5 hours a week. Some people only have, 5 minutes a day. That's okay. You just need to do what's going to work best for you. You need to figure out what's going to work best for you. You can't have somebody tell it to you okay, if you're XYZ, then this is going to work best for you because it probably won't. And that's something I've had to learn too, because I always assume that, okay, if I find a creator with a similar following and a similar vibe as me, then, I'll just do exactly what they do and it'll be fine. And that's just not the truth. You need to test your strategies before you just blindly apply them to what you're doing. Okay. So Not everything needs to be a 90-day plan, okay? Not everything needs to be a 30-day plan. You could have a week plan, it's 7 days. Give you some time to figure it out. Don't just immediately jump into the biggest, deepest, craziest thing. I would say work your way up. And that's something that I fall into too. And that ties into perfectionist fantasies. And, perfectionism is something I think I talked about in one of my earlier episodes. So if you want to check that out, I will link that in the show notes for you. But yeah, because I could do a whole thing on perfectionism and perfectionist fantasies, but we're not going to go there right now. Although I've been having so much fun talking with you guys, to wrap this episode up, I just want you to know that your truth is greater than their blueprint. Basically, you know more than you think, so give yourself credit. And at the end of the day, the goal is not to master every strategy or every platform or to nail every piece of content. It's to master your own voice. It's to master, who you want to show up as on camera and how you want people to see you. So I'm going to work on quieting the noise and, kind of like tuning into my own frequency. I know that sounds cheesy, but I like it. Quieting the noise and tuning into my own frequency. Yeah, I like that. A quote that I saw was, your best growth will come from alignment, not urgency. And that is something that I love. I don't care at this point in my life how aesthetic something is. If it doesn't suit me, if it doesn't feel right for me, if it doesn't fit me, I'm not doing it. And that is something that has taken me years, guys, literally years to be able to accept. And that's okay. But if it doesn't feel like me, I'm not posting it, period. I'm not reposting it. I'm not sure. I'm not doing it. Or if it's a brand deal and it doesn't feel aligned with, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. Point blank, period. So in my parting words, I want to encourage you to take a pause before your next doom scroll, content scroll. Before you kind of do a 3-hour deep dive, I want you to take a pause and maybe just think to yourself, okay, maybe I should try to create some content, or I should try to brainstorm. I should try to figure out who my who and my why are, or what they are. And maybe then, okay, and then I can watch, 20 minutes of videos or something like that. I don't know. Try to do something different than what you're doing. Try to break the cycle. Try to stop the continuous scrolling, because at the end of the day, it's only harming you. And I mean that with my whole chest. Nothing is built overnight, but it is built brick by brick. And those bricks could be pieces of content that are truly aligned with who you are and the message that you're trying to deliver. So if you made it to the end of this episode, I see you. And that means that you're showing up for yourself and your vision. And I am so proud of you for that. Whether you're here to just grow or pivot or feel a little less alone in this journey, because let me tell you, content creation can be lonely. I hope that you got what you needed today. If this episode helped you in any way, shape, or form, I need you to send it to another creator who needs to hear this. Share the love, share the knowledge, share the podcast, because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. And if you want to keep up with me daily, also check the show notes, because I have all of my social handles, my personal and my For Creators accounts, that you can check all the behind the scenes and strategy, content tips, beauty. Literally, I do so much, and you can check it all out. Also, please feel free to subscribe if you guys are watching over on YouTube. So thank you so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. Please feel free to share and rate the podcast if you get the chance. I would greatly appreciate it. It'll greatly help the show. And remember, your content has power. Don't forget that. Please do not forget that your content has power. And with that, I leave you with love and light, and I hope that you have a phenomenal rest of your day. And thanks again for watching. Bye.